Once upon a time, in a small village by the river, there lived a wise old king. He ruled over a peaceful kingdom where the people loved him dearly. The village was surrounded by dense forests and a mighty river full of crocodiles. The king had 3 sons, and they were known as the Crocodile Princes. They were brave, strong, and clever, but each of them was different in his own way. The eldest son, Kano, was tall and fearless. He was the strongest among his brothers and loved to fight and hunt. He would often go into the forest to hunt dangerous animals and would return with stories of his bravery. The people admired him for his courage, but Kano had a proud heart. The second son, Tuma, was not as strong as Kano, but he was smart. He would spend hours reading ancient scrolls, learning about the world and its mysteries. Tuma often helped his father in solving problems of the kingdom with his clever ideas. The people respected him for his wisdom, but Tuma sometimes felt jealous of his elder brother's strength. The youngest son, Zane, was gentle and kind. He loved the animals and the land more than anything else. Zane would often sit by the river and watch the crocodiles swim. While others feared the mighty creatures, Zane saw beauty in them. He was the favorite of the villagers because of his big heart, but his brothers teased him for being too soft. One day, the king grew ill. His once strong body became weak, and he knew that his time was coming to an end. He called his 3 sons to his bedside. The villagers gathered outside the royal hut, waiting to hear what the king would say. "My sons," the king said in a low voice, "I have ruled this kingdom for many years. Now it is time for one of you to take my place as king, but only one of you can be king. The kingdom needs a ruler who is not only brave and strong, but also wise and kind." The brothers looked at each other. Each of them wanted to be king, but they knew that they had to prove themselves worthy. The king continued, "To decide who will be the next king, I will give you a challenge. You must travel to the far side of the river, where the great crocodile lives. Bring back something valuable from the crocodile's lair. Only then will I know who is truly worthy to rule." The brothers agreed to the challenge, but each had a different plan. Kano, the brave one, believed that his strength would help him defeat the crocodiles and win the throne. Tuma, the clever one, thought that he could outsmart the crocodiles with his knowledge. Zane, the gentle one, wanted to prove that kindness could be the greatest strength of all. As the sun began to set, the 3 brothers set off on their journey. The villagers watched them leave, hoping that the best prince would return as their future king. The jungle around the river was dark and full of strange sounds. The trees whispered in the wind, and the ground was damp beneath their feet. Each brother walked quietly, thinking about the challenge ahead. They knew the journey would not be easy, and deep down, each of them wondered if they would be able to complete their task. And so, the journey of the Crocodile Princes began. The 3 brothers continued their journey through the jungle. The air was thick, and the sound of animals echoed around them. Kano, the strongest, led the way. He held his spear tightly, ready to fight any danger that came their way. Tuma walked behind him, thinking of how he could use his knowledge to complete the challenge. Zane, the youngest, followed quietly, listening to the sounds of the jungle. He felt a connection to the land, and he believed that kindness could guide him through the journey. As they reached the edge of the river, they could see the deep flowing water. The river was wide and dangerous, full of crocodiles that could snap at any moment. The great crocodile's lair was on the other side, hidden deep in the thick forest. Kano looked at the river and said, "I will go first. My strength will carry me through." Without waiting for his brothers, he stepped into the water. The crocodiles immediately started to move toward him, their sharp teeth glistening in the sunlight. But Kano was fearless. He swung his spear and fought off the crocodiles with all his might. The water splashed as he battled the fierce creatures. Tuma watched carefully from the riverbank. He was impressed by his brother's strength, but knew that there had to be a smarter way. Kano is brave, Tuma thought, but brute strength alone may not win this challenge. Zane stood quietly, watching the crocodiles. He didn't want to hurt the creatures. Instead, he knelt by the river and spoke softly. "I am not here to fight. I seek peace." The crocodiles didn't attack him. They seemed to sense his gentle heart and swam away, leaving Zane alone at the water's edge. His brothers did not notice what Zane had done. Kano finally reached the other side of the river, tired but proud. He had fought off many crocodiles and was sure he would win the challenge. Tuma followed next, but instead of fighting, he used his mind. He found a long branch and used it to push himself across the river without entering the water. The crocodiles snapped at him, but they couldn't reach him. Tuma was pleased with himself for using his intelligence to cross the dangerous river. Zayn, the youngest, walked calmly across a narrow path at the river's edge. The crocodiles did not attack him. They seemed to respect his peaceful nature and allowed him to pass without any trouble. Zayn felt relieved and thanked the creatures in his heart. Now that all three brothers had crossed the river, they stood before the entrance to the great crocodile's lair. The cave was dark and cold, with the sound of water dripping from the ceiling. The brothers could feel the presence of the great crocodile deep inside. Kano stepped forward, his spear ready. "I will face the crocodile head-on and take what I need," he said, confident in his strength. He believed that the only way to win was through power. Tuma, however, was not so sure. "We should think before we act. The great crocodile is wise and dangerous. We cannot defeat it with strength alone," he warned his elder brother. Zayn stood back, observing the cave. He didn't want to fight or trick the crocodile. He wanted to find another way, one that would not bring harm to anyone. As they entered the cave, the darkness swallowed them. The air grew colder, and the ground was slippery with wet moss. The brothers could hear the low growl of the great crocodile in the distance, a sound that sent shivers down their spines. Each of them prepared for the challenge in their own way. Kano gripped his spear tightly, ready for battle. Tuma thought of all the stories he had read about dangerous creatures and how to outsmart them. Zayn, however, remained calm. He believed that the crocodile was not their enemy and that there had to be a peaceful solution. Deeper into the cave they went, their footsteps echoing off the walls. The growling grew louder, and soon they found themselves face to face with the great crocodile. Its eyes gleamed in the darkness, and its massive body blocked the path ahead. The brothers froze, unsure of what to do next. Kano raised his spear, ready to attack, but before he could strike, the great crocodile spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "Why have you come to my lair, young princes? Do you seek to harm me, or do you seek wisdom?" The brothers were stunned. The crocodile could speak, and its words were full of power and knowledge. Now, the real test had begun. The great crocodile stared at the three princes with its wise eyes. "I know why you are here," it said in its deep voice. "You seek something valuable to prove your worth as a king. But first, you must understand that true power lies not in strength or cleverness, but in kindness and wisdom." Kano, the eldest prince, frowned. "But I am strong. Strength wins battles. If I defeat you, I will prove I am the best choice to be king." The great crocodile shook its massive head. "Strength alone is not enough to rule. A king must protect his people and bring peace, not fear. What you see as power can lead to destruction." Tuma, the clever prince, realized that his brother was missing the point. "You speak of wisdom. Perhaps there is another way to show our worth. What if we offer you something instead of fighting?" Zayn, the youngest prince, stepped forward. He had always believed that kindness was the greatest strength. "Great crocodile, I do not want to harm you. We have come seeking something valuable, but I believe that the greatest treasure is understanding. Let us learn from you." The great crocodile looked at Zayn and nodded slowly. "You are brave, young one. It takes courage to stand against your brothers for what you believe. I will share my wisdom with you, but only if you can answer my question." The princes listened carefully, eager to learn. The crocodile asked, "What is the most important quality a king must have?" Kano immediately replied, "Strength. A king must be strong to protect his people." Tuma thought for a moment and said, "A king must be clever and wise to make the best decisions." Zayn, however, took a deep breath and said, "A king must be kind. Kindness creates trust and unity among the people. Only a kind heart can truly lead." The great crocodile smiled. "You, Zayn, have understood. Kindness is the key to a successful reign. A true king is one who cares for his people and leads with love." Kano felt ashamed. He realized that his desire for strength had blinded him to the needs of the people. Tuma too understood that wisdom without compassion could not truly help the kingdom. The great crocodile continued, "I will give you each a gift. Kano, your strength will protect your people. Tuma, your wisdom will guide them. But Zane, your kindness will unite them. Together, you will be the rulers your kingdom needs." With that, the great crocodile offered each prince a piece of its scale. The scales shimmered with a magical light. "These scales will remind you of the lessons you learned today. Wear them with pride and remember the balance of strength, wisdom, and kindness." The brothers thanked the great crocodile and made their way back to their village. As they crossed the river, they felt different. They had learned valuable lessons about leadership and the importance of caring for others. When they returned to the village, the people welcomed them with open arms. The king, seeing his sons, smiled with pride. "Have you found what you were looking for?" he asked. Kano stepped forward. "Yes, father. We have learned that a true king must be strong, wise, and kind. We will rule together, each using our unique strengths to protect and care for our people." The king nodded, pleased. "Then it is decided. You shall share the throne, ruling with love and understanding. The kingdom will thrive under your guidance." And so, the three brothers became known as the Crocodile Princes, each bringing their strengths to the kingdom. Kano protected the land with his bravery, Tuma advised with his cleverness, and Zane brought everyone together with his kindness. Together, they ruled wisely and justly, ensuring that their kingdom was filled with peace and prosperity. The great crocodile watched over them from the river, knowing that it had chosen well, and that, dear friends, is the tale of the Crocodile Princes, where strength, wisdom, and kindness united to create a better world for all.